Hello, girls. How you doing? Hello.
Okay, thank you. Efe, do you mind being more
Okay,
normal?
the building. Sorry.
Efe, the baby girl, is in the building.
That's so.
I came to chop life. Life cannot chop me.
Hallelujah. Glory, glory, glory. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am Olori, the number one of the of the group. So therefore, let's do our quick fire highlights of the week still. Okay, so I'll go first. Let's see. I had one in mind. Toke Makinwa, yes. Now Toke is a very controversial topic, but I want to say that because I've always asked myself how does Toke make her money, and I think recently she did a video where she said she got paid her first 10 million naira for an endorsement in 2015. So I'm like, okay. And she didn't, of course, say the brand for confidentiality reasons. But I'm like, okay, so maybe there is more money in this endorsement thing that I give her credit for. So maybe I need to do some more research into Tokyo. But it definitely helped me to calm down my vim on how does Tokyo make her money. If they can pay you 10 million.
I'm sorry, but even if she gets 10 million, how many endorsements does she have?
Come on.
on.
You know, let's move on. That's not a hot topic. So let's just Eka, so do you want to go instead?
Following your space of thought, since we are doing online people, I think my highlights online people for this week is the energy Joro and now Bobrisky have on Tunde Ed Notes. It's fire.
Mass boss.
Mass boast, man.
FA.
I don't think I have any highlights.
We shall
FA,
ignore
I thought
you.
you're living a baby girl life. What's
like I don't.
I was so busy living my baby girl lifestyle, like I couldn't keep up. So
With the happenings in it.
Big girl, Derry. I beg, maybe not Derry.
I
Only
hope that as you were about to shade Toke that you don't have other side hustles that
Don't mind her.
are maintaining your baby girl lifestyle.
I
Just to
don't
put it out there.
please.
Okay. Anyway, topics for today is going to be very heavy on the church today, and then we'll see what else we have time for. So we'll start with our infamous pastor from COZA. What does COZA fully mean actually? What does
Commonwealth of Zion Assembly.
Okay, that sounds like
As
like
a former
cult.
member, please, I can give you anything you want.
like that sounds like a cult a little bit. But anyway, Pastor Biodun Fatoyibo, I think that's his full name, of COZA, was invited as a guest in the currently ongoing Shiloh 2020, which is the end of year conference put together by the Living Faith church, which is headed by Pastor David Oyedepo. Now, because I actually went to go and do research on this. When it came on Twitter, right, the issue was that he was invited. Like the way it came out to me was that he was invited as a preacher, right? On for the conference, and in doing my deep dive, of which by the way the technical team behind the Shiloh website, you guys you're doing a very poor job, because I couldn't find the speaker list, day 3, here's who is speaking, here's who is preaching. I couldn't find that on the website. And then so I went to Papa Gio's page, and I didn't see him as any of the preachers taking the stage. So I think what the real tea is that he came in as a pastor and was recognized as a special guest of honor. You know how maybe when someone of status comes into an event and they'll say, I want to recognize my son in the Lord, or this pastor or this governor. I think that maybe what happened versus him being called on to preach. For Shiloh. So with that background being said, what are you girls' take on Biodun even being at Shiloh really?
I mean, let's to be honest, I think my own is this: if he wasn't invited to speak, or he wasn't a guest speaker at Shiloh, a guest pastor, and he went by himself to go and attend Shiloh, Will you stop him from attending Shiloh
That's a fair point.
as living faith? Will you stop him? I think that is my own. Like if he wasn't invited, if he wasn't, there's nothing you can do to stop him. Okay, if you decide to stop him, a lot of people will say why. One, another set of people will say you should stop him because he's a rapist. But then has it been proven? That is what another side will say. That is it not hearsay? So there are many things to do. I would say if you were, because me my own was where I would have had an issue was if he was invited, if he was a guest speaker. If he was a
Yeah.
guest speaker, and then that one there might be issues because people will say that this is a pastor that has had issues recently. Again,
Mm.
and many women have come up to say things, although he hasn't been convicted as a rapist or whatever it was, and it is her side against his side or whatever it is. But then it might be too messy for
Mm.
Shiloh. But then since he just came as a pastor and he wanted to say hello to his pastor friends, ah,
But that's where I
mm,
want to go, and I'll let Efe come in. But I think that's where the crux of the issue is. In that, if he came as a regular, member coming for either for God to, to
Yeah.
reconnect to God or whatever the case may
mm,
be, then that's
reconnect.
separate, right? Because many people, I mean, we're all sinners, right? And we all
Yeah,
come
exactly.
to Shiloh to maybe find our way
Repent.
back, yeah, exactly, back to God. So that wasn't the issue. The issue was the fact that Papa Go felt the need to even recognize him as someone of
Oh,
importance,
okay.
right? At
Oh, right.
the at the conference, right? And to me, I think it speaks more to how serious the church, right, takes sexual allegations. So to your point, Eka, it hasn't been proven in any court that I'm aware of that this
Mm,
guy is a rapist or sexual assault. It hasn't been proven anywhere.
mm,
However, there has been one too many
yeah.
accusations of which a character flaw
Is
is
recurrent. Yeah.
exactly, or at least it gives us cause for concern, right?
Yeah.
And as a church, I feel like that strives to uphold moral standing, right?
Mm,
While you don't want to cast away the sinners, you can't also celebrate someone that has so many flaws. I will also extend it to say that when SA Waters came out initially. Now I have a different take on SA versus Bukola, but SA did mention that
Mm.
she took her issue to the board of the church,
mm,
right? Which means
Yeah.
that senior pastors, maybe even up to this, because many of this Adeboye and Oyedepo have many pastors that are that are pastors today that came up from their own training. So even I think
yeah.
Sam Adeyemi came up through um David Oyedepo, actually, right?
Okay.
So
Mm.
maybe Bjorn came up through him as well, right?
Mm,
My issue though is so I won't be surprised if Essay's issue reached um David,
mm,
Papa Go, right? So to me, so that's one thing. A second possibility is that maybe the wife didn't know who she married initially, right?
mm,
But when she starts seeing all of these issues come, because there's no way that she would think that she isn't aware of some of these accusations, right?
Yeah.
When that came up, she probably ran to their mothers and fathers in the Lord for guidance.
Mm.
So
mm,
you can't say that you don't know, that he has these issues from that angle as well. So, but I'm all for forgiveness, but he should not be recognized,
hmm,
because if the allegation was
Yeah.
one of let me say him being gay,
mm.
right? So no proof, but too many, you know, people coming out saying that
Stories.
that I've had gay sex with this guy. I don't think that
Mm.
that Papa would be as happy
Forgiving.
to
Mm.
recognize his son that has this many issues. So again, come to Shiloh, but don't be recognized as someone of importance. So Efe, so let me let you come in here.
The church. Mm. The church, as long as yes, the church. I was something happened recently. I think it was this Ndoma Egba that his wife died recently or something. That woman apparently is
Who's
a
that?
husband snatcher. Mm. But let me go to the point. The point
Sorry,
is
sorry, please. Who is Udoma?
at
Like,
her
who is
burial.
this?
Even he was or he is or was a senator for I think Cross River or Akwa Ibom.
Okay.
But it's like
Okay.
his wife died in an accident during this lockdown, I think thing. But
Okay.
basically, the woman apparently snatched him from his first wife, whatever,
Mm.
whatever. They are now the marriage, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you people are supporting a husband snatcher because the man has money. The church only recognizes people that has money.
That's right.
Even
Mm.
whether you sin or not, like the fact that you're a pastor and you're one of us. I'm not saying nobody can sin, but when somebody in a position of power, authority that can control a large crowd of people and tell them that this is what God told me, and you come on the
Mm.
pulpit and you talk, and we know that there are so many allegations which I think are true. Forget the nonsense system we have in Nigeria. Those allegations are true, whether people want to say yes or no. And then you now recognize that person. Let him just come out. You should even be covering yourself in shame. Don't even nobody should be announcing your name in not even in Shiloh. You know what you're coming to pray to God for. Hopefully God will answer you. But this guy, like Papa or Papa, should not
Like,
have recognized Mr. Fatoyibo at that Shiloh thing. Because this man has too many, there's too much. The fact that his church is even still ongoing is money. It's not this
That
man,
that
you
that's
know,
the thing, and
it's
I
money.
wanted to ask the question of, because you're saying that he's recognizing him now in Shiloh when the thing was hot. What did
Exactly. What did
Pastor Oyedepo say?
that's true.
What did
exactly?
anybody say? So according to them and their pastoral unit of leaders, not the guy did not do anything.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
That's the point. But if it's an ordinary floor member, they will
They'll
expel you
sack
from
them.
church.
Exactly. Yes. Maybe to your
Like
point, if it
why
is
can you
monetary
recognize
based,
something like that?
it's
Mm,
monetary based because a poor pastor in some branch from nowhere, maybe
Exactly.
they'll
interior
cancel him.
Ogun State, would not have been recognized whether he was a stellar pastor or not,
That
right?
is it.
So for me, like to me, I just feel like the church, like I'm, I,
Politics.
I'm first to say that we're all sinners, right? And we're all
Mm-hmm.
human beings, but I think that the church has to normalize the fact that pastors are human beings and they may err,
Mm-hmm.
but they need to
Yes.
seek remorse, get healing, and come back, right?
Or not
So
come back, please. Let us have
or
that
not come
option.
back. That's true, and
Yeah.
that brings me to um Timi Adigun of, I guess,
Mm.
mine teen. I didn't even know this ministry existed, but mine teen ministry that
Yeah.
also has like a church called Ark Church or
Act
something.
of God or something.
Now he again
Step down.
is a pastor
At least
over
he stepped down.
teenagers, so that's already a tricky one. And
Mm-hmm.
then he so one thing that I think was a departure from the norm with him was that he did a press release saying that I was inappropriate. I didn't have sex, and
Mm,
there was no minor. Again, that can be true or not, but that he
mm,
was inappropriate in a way that doesn't align with his message on sexual purity, right? And that he has stepped down to your point, Eka, and that but that he will be resuming in January.
Ah.
Yeah, because
oh, he said you'll be resuming in January.
yeah, I read
Is
his
that what
press.
he wrote there?
Yeah, that was
I
no his
read
press
half of it.
statement.
I thought he was stepping down
I
fully.
read the full thing, so he's stepping down for now. Because we want to be well
One month.
researched. So he's stepping down for now. No, so I think he has stepped down for a while, but he was still holding like a small fellowship for those that wanted to. Because apparently it's just us that are hearing now. This has
Mm,
this had bust a while ago. It seemed like, or maybe a few months ago. So he had stepped down from the church a while ago, but then he was still holding, like, I think in his house, people that wanted to come and be
in
taught
his house
the
after
word.
being a criminal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now he said
Sorry
that
to
the
say.
wife was not aware of any of his doings. Like the wife was completely aware. So again, I think what I like about him is that him saying that I did something wrong. Now he may not have said
Mm,
the full truth of what he did wrong, but like I did something wrong in that he was inappropriate with um members of the ministry, but that he didn't have sex with them, and that none
Mm.
of them was under, or none of them were minors, which is a bit strange because it's a teenagers ministry, um, and that also his wife was never in the know of any of his activities. So he has, in fact, because of that, stepped down till January. But in the meantime, I think he has been doing house fellowship where people who still trust his ability to preach the word want to come and learn from him. But as a leader of the church, he has stepped down till about January when he will resume in that capacity. Now, one guy's story that touched me in kind of the back and forth was the guy was saying how some many teenagers don't want to go to their parents' churches because the churches don't teach for their needs,
Mhm.
right? Which we can all relate to. And
Yes.
so this was almost the only way that they could go to church. And the parents were concerned about, why would I allow my teen go to a church that I don't know? So
Mm.
many times when they hear that it's Pastor Timi,
Me.
that it instilled some confidence in the parents, right?
Mm.
To allow their kids go to a church that isn't, aligned to what they, go to. And that
Mm.
so that has already that so this coming out may kill that confidence that parents had for their kids to do something different than what they were, doing. Number
Mm.
two was he was saying that, as teenagers, asking them to be sexually pure, they won't have like a virginity day, right?
Yeah.
That it's hard for them to do it because in their peers are doing it right now, they're having sex right now, so asking them to abstain is hard. But when you now give them an excuse, if you
Mm.
will, to stop holding on, because if pastor
You're
that,
doing it.
yeah, that
Yeah.
right now many are looking for revenge, as the guy put it, revenge sex. That what's the point of, because again they are fragile in their, maybe in their faith or whatever, so like what's the point of holding on when pastor is
Mm.
is, is enjoying the dividends of um knacks. So that's where that guy was coming from in the whole. But let me hear you guys' I guess general take on the whole thing. Like, I they are men of God being men before of God. So I don't know. I mean,
Mm.
I mean, can I just say the fact that parents even leave their training of their
mm,
kids to pastors at that
yeah.
age? I don't. Growing up, my mother was like my pastor. Like, yes, we went to. It's true. I don't know. I guess it depends on the parent. Like, if you're not religious, maybe you might want to send your kids there. But I grew up in, I mean, maybe my dad was not, but my mom was. And it was like, okay, I'm teaching you this and you still go to church. But even I remember when we used to go for house fellowships, my mom was very particular because forget all these pastor things. Like, these things, like, people have been raping young children, both pastors or not normal guys. So my mom was always skeptical about house fellowships because anything can happen there, anything can
Right.
happen. So it's, why do you have to, like, why are you looking to one man to train your teenage daughters or sons? The parents should, you should also
No,
do
but
something.
wasn't it just a ministry? Was he taking training them? I mean,
No, not true. I'm just saying, like, they look up to him as their
Yeah.
pastor now. That's what I'm
And he
saying.
okay.
has a church. I think the Ark Church is what is connected to the ministry. So
Mm,
Yeah.
basically, I think that's where kids came on Sunday. Is
Mm,
this ministry slash church?
yeah.
yeah.
And I'm sure the
It's
gist, like, if he was, like they said, he was doing stuff with some people, I'm sure the gist would have flowed round,
Yeah.
mm,
the whole thing. So
My
you
thing.
start asking yourself, like, is what he's saying true? Like,
Yeah.
hmm,
And to me, I think
okay.
that's the biggest thing, right? I think even the Bible, not that I'm a Bible scholar, but I think even the Bible has mentioned about, is those that corrupt the little
Yeah,
ones,
yeah,
right?
mm,
Because I said they're very impressionable. Like, I'm already struggling to keep my virginity, right? So if I have a small, breakout, or a small reason, do you get what I'm saying? To not uphold, that I'm going to run with it. I think has given them
yeah,
more than a
enough
small, because if a
reason.
married pastor that has access to sex, like legal, so-called legal access to sex, is still indulging inside small chops,
yeah,
then yeah, then who am I who has no legal, because he has, because having a wife, then
mm,
you know you have a limited supply of pum pum. So why so why are you still wanting small chops versus a teenager that has virgin hormones and no
yeah.
legal outlets? You're not asking them to
Mm.
now, abstain. Well, you can't. So I feel like that to me is the biggest disappointment, I feel like, of
And
the.
I think, sorry, and I think another thing that caught me was the fact that they said he started a program about fathering. I think maybe that's what you're talking about. If you
Pardon
just
me.
a father me, and
Yeah.
maybe some of these people, girls that are looking for father me, they don't actually have fathers, and now they are looking at you as a righteous man to be their father, then you now come and do this one. And when he says something like they were of age, okay, that one is questionable first of all. And then you say it was like, because what he's trying to say is that he didn't do anything against anybody's will.
Yeah.
But
That's
then
what he's
you're
Mm.
saying.
standing as a father me figure or a leader,
But
a leading figure.
yeah,
Most times in Nigeria, most people almost like, is wrong, but most people look at leaders as, first of all, let me not go and say anything that he will say. They have that kind of, which is wrong. They have that kind of, let me not go and disrespect pastor, daddy, whatever. Then they will
yeah,
now be doing things. So it's not like they consented, but they are doing it out of respect. So the
yeah.
person that should know better in that situation is the pastor. But he
Mm.
took, because will he now say he didn't take advantage?
Even the
Yeah.
manipulation, like I feel like
Exactly.
I know he calls it sexual purity, so it's meant to encompass everything that isn't sex. But I feel like maybe the point that the fact that it wasn't sex, I think is even the problem in that,
What
Mm.
was it?
because
Like,
if they do a virginity day, virginity is very simple. You didn't have any penetration or any penetrative. That's basically what that is. Like
Yeah.
any
but there are other
vaginal
holes
sex.
as
Yeah.
well.
So maybe the manipulation was it's not sex, right?
Mm,
You are still pure. You are still a virgin, right? So we can do this other fringy things, right? And that's adding to the manipulation of,
Mm.
it's what we're doing is not that bad,
Mm.
right? And again, and I think again, teenagers being at the age where attention from an older man seems like everything, so
yeah.
coupled with that, it's definitely a case of taking advantage of your position. But one thing that scares me is who was there to hold him accountable, if
That's the
like
thing.
who
As
was the
he's the part,
body.
as he's in charge.
Yeah, who
Mm-hmm.
what is that avenue for accountability when a pastor who is a
Because
human
how
being?
can he tell us that he's coming back in January? Who said he should
Yeah,
come back?
Because
Why
that's
you
he's
it.
the owner
doing?
of the church, so he can do that.
Can
And
you
the only
imagine?
reason
What
why
are
he
you
has
doing?
come out is because he
Yeah.
was dragged in public.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because as I said, something this had been concluded in the inner caucus a while ago.
Uh,
But I think someone now used the Twitter, because and this is the part that annoyed me in the press release. He basically said that this is basically what he said. I did something inappropriate, but not sex, not with a minor, and my wife was not involved. However, there have been members of the board of the church,
hmm,
Mm.
right, that have been at loggerheads with me,
hmm,
and
Can you imagine?
use the occasion of this
That's the
event,
excuse.
right, to embarrass me, which is why
mm-hmm.
it came out through the ministry's Twitter
Press.
handle.
Mm,
That this is what has happened internally. So he's saying that the public coming out was the
was a
works of the
conspiracy, like they
haters.
conspired.
Yeah,
And
That's
the
it.
haters in the church. So I'm like, bro, and that way to me the apology started to be watered down.
so
Yeah.
there's no remorse. Is
Yeah,
there
the
That's it.
remorse?
remorse was
Oh, that's not.
questionable in
Hmm.
that okay, now it's now the haters that made me come out. That
Mm.
but internally we've handled this, as as a church family internally. And then someone also said that this girl, this Toyo C or Toyo baby from Jennifer's series, had called
Mm.
them out actually, or called the
Hmm.
Mind Teen Ministries out for either I think she also claimed that she was
A
sexually
virgin.
a virgin
Okay.
or assaulted or something sha in her history,
Okay.
and I think she roped this church involved, this
Hmm.
ministry involved
Yeah.
as well. So for me, the apology, now that I think about it fully, seemed a bit backhanded, if you
Mm.
will. And he's coming back in January.
I didn't even
But
read
Yeah.
that part. Thank
yeah,
God I did not read
fully
that part.
researched, girl, fully
Well
researched.
done, well
So
done.
so I guess my comment there is now, so if this has been handled internally in the church, right, do we need to also hold the church members accountable, because they seem to have moved on, like they had moved on from this like, okay, our pastor Ed, we forgive
Mm.
him, let's move on. Do we hold similar to COZA? COZA
Yeah.
church membership is still
Still there.
raging.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
who do we like? Do we like? I mean, the church body or board, okay, but the members, because
Hmm.
you make the church. Your tithes and offerings support the church. So you know, are you voting with your power in that instance if you are still coming to fellowship?
Personally, I won't go back to that church. Personally, Sha, but Nigerians now. It's
I
not that
think,
deep. There's so many churches outside. Like
yeah,
it's
and I think a lot of people, they are worshiping the wrong thing.
that's
A
it.
lot of people are worshiping the pastor and not the God of
Mm-hmm.
the Christianity or whatever religion it is. A lot of people just do like it's, I
People,
don't know.
yeah, people, and I
It's
also think even the pastors. I don't know how they ordain pastors these days, but there
Yeah.
has to be very strict. Like it's not that pulpit is not your house. It is not your. It's not your. That's God. That's like you're representing God to an extent, and then you sin and you say you're a human being. Oh, really?
mm,
When you chose to be a pastor, you do not know that you're a human being, or when you chose to judge other people, but when it's your own turn. So there needs to be like very stringent, like I don't
but
know, to
who would
become a
do that?
pastor.
Who is the
That's the
doer
thing.
of the thing?
Because
That's
people
the thing.
just come out. Like just because you can talk well or you can speak English doesn't make you a pastor. Anybody can do that, or because you're a good communicator. No,
But
like it's
doesn't
Mm,
it?
because
But
it
doesn't
shouldn't.
it
That's what I'm
though?
saying. It shouldn't. Like you
Because
don't
I
have
feel
to go.
like, sorry, I'm sorry,
Mm.
sorry. Go on.
Now I'm saying you don't have like many people can. Many people naturally. Some people know how to talk. They know how to coerce you. If you're a good salesman, you can be a good pastor. Let me
Yeah.
just say it. So it's like that's not that shouldn't be the main thing. It should be what like there's some churches I go to. You see the pastor looking dashing, a guy speaking English, looking good. You're like, I want to look like this man, or I want my husband to look like this man. But it's like when you think of the spiritual, you act like I ask myself, am I connecting to this person spiritually, or is this person saying something that is uplifting me? And it's like, you know what? I'm just here because this guy can talk. Like it's not because he's even
Yeah.
saying anything. So it's
mm.
like there just needs to be more like rigid, to become a pastor because so many rubbish things are happening and they shouldn't be because it just makes other people say, "I look at," because I've heard people say, "Look at you Christians, your wala is too much." It's like why do we always have to be in the news for all these rubbish things? It just doesn't make the church look good.
But that raises a good question because if I look at it from a purely business standpoint, right? The
Mm-hmm.
JD of a pastor is to interpret, is to read the
Yeah.
Bible, interpret it, and then give it to me in a way that I can, almost like a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or like a
Basically.
professor. Like I'm not going to spend the time doing all the in-depth research. So
Mm.
you're going to give it to me in a in a way that I can easily digest and run with it. And that's what a pastor does. And if you have that skill set, whether or not you have the spiritual
Exactly. You can be a
backing,
pastor.
you can do that. I think many of our new age pastors have the gift of oratory, or they've
Yeah.
studied how to take the
How to
Talk.
Bible and
deliver?
deliver that
Yeah.
message. Now, whether we need to hold them to a spiritual, and maybe this is where the issue is for me, is that if that's
Mm-hmm.
all you do and all you sell yourself as doing, right, then maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. Like for example, Joel Austin. I know people have issues with him. I don't mind him because I don't think he sells himself as a miracle guy. Do you get what I'm
Mm.
saying? He preaches, he uplifts you, you go home. Now, when you
Mm-hmm.
now start to now mix this with, I have a calling to lead teens on sexual
Yeah.
purity, then you have to be pure sexually as well,
You have
That's
to be
just it.
right?
so careful. You have to be strong in that
Once
side.
Yeah.
once you now start saying that I'm a spiritual messenger, that God speaks to me directly, then we have to hold you accountable from a spiritual
That's
angle.
it.
Mm.
Once you are doing signs and wonders, prophecies, then we need to hold you accountable because then
Mm-hmm.
there's a spiritual, you know, angle to
Element.
it. And I think the what brings what creates that hold in Nigeria pastoral work is that spiritual angle, which is why we
Yeah.
have to hold them accountable on the spiritual side too.
Accountable.
Because
Yeah.
if I didn't think that you could pray out, or pray in a husband to me, I may not come to your church. It's true, right?
That is why
That's
that is
true.
why the issue is the fact that a lot of Christians are Christians following the wrong person and
Yeah.
following the wrong this thing. So you're not even going to read your Bible to say, let me even understand for myself, with my own eye. Because the thing is that even with this Bible, something of them reading the Bible and teaching you, sometimes they teach you based on because they were never even spiritually inclined to the thing. They
In the
just did
first
it
place.
as
Yeah.
hunger, they catch me, I can speak English, let me talk. And then they will not come
Exactly.
and do some things and change some words. That is why you see people flogging members in their churches and members
Yeah.
are still going because they are busy following pastor, not the word of
Yeah.
God. The word of God
Mm-hmm.
did not say that you should do this, you should do that. The word of God did not say that you should be doing non-sexual things with what do you call it, with teenagers, is that not adultery?
Thank
Oga
you.
Exactly.
Pastor. So I don't understand whether he missed that part of the Bible. I
But
don't
to
get
me,
it.
there's a boldness there, right? Because like this
Yeah.
particular guy, for
It
example,
is.
it's one thing if his sin was stealing from the church, right?
Mm.
I mean, it's not right, but I can separate it for him. But your own sin is in the place that you are
You're spiritually
ministering.
speaking.
Exactly. So for me, I'm like,
Hey,
bro, like at some point your conscience has to have been pricking you that okay, this is a bit,
that's the
you know,
thing now.
Right?
and this has
People.
over the years
Mm,
too. So it's
yeah.
Become
like
strong.
I
I'm
mean, I
like,
feel
That's
like
bro,
sad.
the church, just like we are talking about Biodun, the church, I feel like most churches have missed the whole point. Once a church
Mhm.
member in a position, because it takes me back to the story of Ananias and I think Sapphira or something in the Bible.
glory.
You are a worker. You're working in the house of God. If it's an ordinary floor member, you should even that God struck like they died on the
Struck
spot.
dead.
Right.
Hey.
So it's like you and if you're not a pastor, it's different. But you're in that position. You are calling God.
Hmm.
You are teaching people, and then you're doing something you're not supposed to do, and you have the guts to come on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and stand on that pulpit and talk. Like people, why are you telling us? Who said you should come back in January? Like I don't even
The
understand. Like
congregants,
how
the
dare
Maybe the
you?
congregants
congregation is begging him to come
wanting
back.
back.
Hmm.
Like it's ridiculous. People just trivialize these things. It's the church. You're in a position where you're representing God, and you want to do something that God does not condone, and you think that I just need 1 month. Let me just go on a sabbatical and come back. Like it's like you shouldn't even come back. Like you should not. So if you want to come back, maybe after 1 year, because
Maybe
normally
Pastor
God
Koza came back and they were clapping for
exactly
him.
exactly
But
like
maybe also we deserve the pastors like politicians that we get
That we
because
get.
that
was
Sister,
it
I
that's
agree.
FA that was saying it as a parent, you outsourcing the job of raising your kid to a pastor
yes.
to a ministry, you're already being lazy, right?
Lazy.
Same thing with our miracle pastors, right?
Yeah.
You maybe they put out money for you to go to school, you didn't go to school.
Mm-hmm.
They open business for you and you still do not do much with it. Yet one
Yeah.
has seen a vision that um um
Dollar waiting for you.
that
The dollar is coming.
no, that your father's second wife has
Is
buried
the
your
killer.
destiny
Is
somewhere.
Your star.
Yeah, your thank you, your star, or is your wife that is doing you, or something to that effect. Whereas you did not use
Laziness.
the opportunities given to you. So
You're a lazy
I feel
bum.
like in a sense we get what we
Definitely.
ask for. Even men calling out pastors, right? I think why men tend to be so quick to go on the do not question a pastor because if it's okay to question a pastor's authority in the
Hmm.
church, then it's okay to question a man's authority in the home.
That's
And
Mm-hmm.
it.
if the man doesn't want to be held accountable, then he has to support
The
the
pastor's
pastor
Mm.
stupidity.
before it gets to his own house.
Mhm.
As in, you get what I'm saying. So to me, I feel like there's so much interconnection with people that benefit from a broken system. So we get
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
what we ask for or what we tolerate,
Yeah.
right? But then women continue to be the collateral damage
Yeah.
of the system. So I think maybe women need to maybe speak out more because men don't have an incentive. Because I'm sure
Yeah.
the teens being probably abused in this church were not
Okay.
men. My guts, all the odds are they were the female
Yeah.
teenagers, not the male one. So I just feel like you
My
know,
own question is actually another thing. I know we've already spoken about it, but what was he doing with them if he wasn't sexually,
Mm.
like, I don't get him saying he was inappropriate, but he did. Like, what is this stupid talk that he's
Like
talking
they
here?
think that you don't have to
uh
have sex to engage in some sort of sexual
Why would you teach
dancing.
sexual purity and then be touching
Exactly.
somebody on their laps? Like, you understand? Or what was he doing? What was he doing with them? I wish the people who came out could come out
We'll
and tell
say
us their
that.
full
Yeah.
story, because it's a bit scary to see that he, and as both of you have said, you're teaching the teen, you're teaching virginity day and
Mm-hmm.
sexual purity.
Mm-hmm.
Guy, why are you sexually unpurifying this thing?
so
So
purified.
if it wasn't sex, what was it that
What
had
was it?
to, like, what is this man chatting? This guy was probably sleeping with them, disvirgining them all about. If you were not doing it, sorry, but then you've given me the reason to think that that is what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And for the fact that he could boldly, like, it's just as both of you have also said, it is
People
the
are not even looking
boldness.
at it. I mean,
No remorse is the
mm-hmm.
boldness. And as we have said, the members or people in the society will come and say, do not talk about a pastor like that, do not do this. And
They're worshiping the house.
my own is that a pastor is a human being like me. The pastor read the Bible. I can open the Bible and read. I will not exalt a pastor more than I should, because
Never.
it's God that
Exactly.
I am serving and it is Jesus Christ that died for my sin. It is not Pastor Timi or Pastor Biodun. I'm sorry to say. I will respect you,
Yeah.
but then let it not go past respect, so that when the pastor falls your hand, you'll be able to hold the pastor accountable, and board will remove the pastor. But most of the boards in these churches, the deacon and deaconesses, they were put there by the pastor and they worship the ground the pastor sleeps on.
Not
So
even only that, may you as a deacon have done something similar and they helped you come out
Yeah.
ah
of.
That's
dead.
it.
So would
Yeah.
you not be so the vim with which we used to abuse the partner is low, because
Mm-hmm.
in your own turn they helped you
Yes,
cover up.
Yeah.
exactly. So it's all a, I don't even understand. It's all a whole, all this holier than thou behavior, all these church people used to do.
People
They'll
just
be
pick and
judging
choose.
others.
That's what it is. They
They
just pick
pick
and
who to throw stones
like
at
if
and
people
just
look at all this Bible stuff that we're reading, if people really read the Bible, you know that most of the pastors out there are not even real. Even Bible tells you many are called, few are
no
chosen.
shebi.
Very
Who
few.
is are you the chosen?
Yes.
Like who
Shebi, is
is
it not
chosen?
Jesus that still went to the church and was scattering things outside because people were doing what they
Exactly.
were not supposed to be doing in front of the
Supposed to
church?
do. Because
That
what if you say you are anointed, like to an extent, that anointing comes with some sort of spiritual, like spiritual. I don't know how to say it, but it means that you cannot like the things that mere mortals do. To an extent, you shouldn't even be moved by it. So don't come and tell me you're a human being. You are not.
No, but
That means you are not the chosen.
no, me, I
to
believe they
me,
are human beings though,
yeah, you can be
and they can
moved,
fall. But it's
but
how you
I
move
don't.
from that that
yeah,
is the question.
it's how you, yeah, cause, and this is where we go back and forth. I know Pastor Adebayo was saying one time how that if you are a when his building issue Bukola King thing came out earlier
Yeah.
on, that he was saying that if you have that maybe one don't have a female assistant
Mm.
as a man of God, that
Mm.
maybe if you're already putting eye there, that maybe sack her. And I know many women came out to say that it's unfair for you to sack the woman,
A woman, yeah.
because you cannot control. But to me, I feel like then we're shifting the
So
goalpost,
what should he
right?
do now?
That's
You
what I'm
should be
saying.
sitting down there and be
That's what I'm
That
saying.
I'm
looking
saying. So
silly
to me,
for.
I feel like it's easier if we're all human beings. It's easier to remove yourself than to start
From the
fighting on
situation.
how. Yeah, because to me, part of discipline is to remove yourself. So it's unfair to the woman who has to be sacked because she did
Mhm.
nothing other than look beautiful, right?
Mhm.
It's unfair to her. But to me, I feel like it's on you to do what you need to do to preserve your principles.
Exactly.
Like, you can be selfish about that, in my opinion. The only place that I would say that I will make a different opinion is if you don't own the company. So
Mm.
I work in the
So
company
you
now.
make sure they sack her or something.
Yeah, I can't make, like, I'm not, because like Pastor EA Adeboye Oyedepo, this COZA guy, they in a sense own the church, right? And so to me, I feel like you have the power to fire somebody, even though the person may have been great for your church, growth.
Mm.
But you are taking the sacrifice so that I will exchange church growth for, my own purity, right? Now, if you are an employee in the company, right, you cannot decide for the owner of the company.
Who to sack and who
Yeah,
to know?
exactly. So that was
Yeah.
me. I disagree that you can't make that veto call on that, right? Maybe for your own personal secretary in a company, maybe you can do it. But, but,
Yeah.
but to say that I will fire my direct um report because she looks sexy, you can't do that. That's the company's decision, not yours. So
Anyway, let me just say Christianity, because I think monks like there's some religions where you don't even interact with the world because you don't want to, because of the distractions.
yeah.
You don't want to
Mm.
kind of put yourself in that situation. So, but the
Mm.
thing is, we have a lot of pastors who are like celebrity pastors. It's like, oh, we have to be here, we have to be there. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm just saying if you know yourself and you know that these things will
That is
distract
it.
you, just
Remove
don't
yourself.
yeah, remove yourself. Anything that you think will affect your spirituality and like how you will connect with the people and how you will even connect with God, like take it out. Don't put yourself in that situation. This one that's like
Exactly.
that's just it. Don't put yourself in that situation.
Because you cannot have a thing for 17 and 16-year-olds and then
Yeah.
create teenage ministry. Are you making sense?
What are you saying? Exactly.
Uh-uh. You remove yourself from the ministry. Train other people. That's what he should have done. Train other people and remove yourself from
Mhm.
being around teenagers.
Exactly. So it's
Instead,
like
you're
it's not
now
like
doing
you're
father me. So
yeah.
what was your purpose? It's a bit suspicious because
Like that's how
you're
well, no, some people like it's just in your nature. Like if you know, just like what people that say, I'm a reformed cultist, I'm a pastor. That thing is still inside you. Forget you have
For
to.
me, I feel like if you go back to integrity, right? Let's even say you did the file. I mean, like in like a hospital, at least abroad, for example, right? If they need to if it's a male doctor seeing you and they need to
mm,
check something in your private area, they will call in
Of course,
a
yeah,
female nurse to be an
yes.
eyewitness to what's
Mm,
happening. So for me, I feel like if you start having these feelings of lost towards these
yeah.
ladies that are almost worshiping you in a way that your wife doesn't worship you because
Mm,
she's an adult, right?
mm.
Maybe say any one-on-one female counseling
yeah.
session has to have another
Somebody
female minister
there.
there
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
to balance things out for you to avoid stories that touch the soul, or maybe your own wife to be there,
Yeah.
right? So, but to keep you in check. But you not doing that and you taking advantage of is where the you know issue gets dicey. But I do
Mm.
need us to migrate to a family member of ours in this group. Burna Boy, he's a family member in this group.
Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so maybe I'll take his own gist first. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, this girl called Joe Pearl
Mm-hmm.
did a video. I actually listened to the video again this morning in my
Mm-hmm.
research.
Did you
Um,
listen to the full 14, 15 minutes to
I
whatever
didn't
she
see
did?
that one. No. I saw a short, maybe a shorter clip or something. But
Okay.
basically, this girl has said that she's 23, so she's kind of young too.
Mm-hmm.
They've been
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
seeing Burna for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and in that 2 year time frame, they've been basically in love.
Hmm.
And she has always been like at his and then from what I heard from other people that are talking about it, basically they've like she comes to his events but she's in the background. um
Yeah.
and apparently the reason why Steph London is the face of his love life is because his management thought that she was a better fit for his brand,
Mm.
like for the global brand that they want to build versus this girl. And so she's coming out now because she just, I guess, tired of like being a side chick or being on the side for a guy that she loves and all whatnot. And
Yeah.
I'm like, sis, what do you need us to do? Like to fight Steph? Like I don't like what's the like I really don't get what she needed us to do. I feel for her being that she really is in love and maybe have been giving her story that
Mm.
okay, this is for management reasons and she has been understanding. But the guy is actually based in London as well with Steph.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So she's like, there's no way Steph didn't know because if he's spending this much time with her, then why is he telling Steph that he's going to, right? So I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Like, poor girl.
I've heard that this guy is
Eh,
stingy, Sha. Your cousin, Eka. I've heard your cousin is stingy. So maybe the girl
Stingy
is
in the
tired of
bedroom or
collect.
with money. So like, what? Sorry, what
No,
do you mean
no, in the
stingy?
bedroom, he's known. Yes, he's known there. But with money, so maybe this girl now, she's like, okay, I've been behind the scenes. Like, I
mm.
don't know, I want to be like. Maybe she's also trying to even, come out and start her own career. Because I'm like,
Mm.
what is the end goal? Like, what's the reason for the call outs? You've been enjoying everything for a couple of years, and so why now? So me, I feel she wants to probably start her own career. You know, that's my own thing, sure.
That I agree with both of you because that and she also asked herself the question in the video. She said her friends told her, "Why are you doing this? Like, what's your point? What do you
Yeah,
want to get out of this?" And she said she just wants, like, the reason why she wants to do it is for her own sanity because she's in love with him. Blah 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 blah. It's sad.
how does
I
that
can't
help you this
categorically.
thing?
Was he going to
I
love her
don't
more?
know. Especially when you know that people will now come and attack you. When you were quiet,
Right.
maybe nobody knew. Now you want to now come out, let people. And obviously, the next post she posted after this, her confession of 2 years confession, was a lot of Nigerians in the comment section were saying, "Look at you," because the next post she posted a picture of herself, and then with the picture, the caption was, "Sometimes it's best to stay quiet" or something like that. And then obviously she enabled her comments now, and Nigerians started attacking her in the sense of, why did you talk in the first place? Now you're saying you should keep quiet. I feel for her if it is true. Why I say if it is true, because the thing even shocked me, because we woke up one day and then we saw that there was another person. If it is true, I feel for her, because you are 23 years old.
Yeah.
You
Mm,
don't have the mental capacity for this kind of rodeo that you're going into.
yeah.
If you're sincere and it's not just a cloud chase, then this would even make your whole case worse. That is it. And from the whole story, so it's 2 years, but with the way she has said it, her and Bonner, there was no definition to what relationship they were
Yeah.
having. That is my own first issue. And
Mm.
I believe that is due to her age. The second issue I had was the fact that you were going out with him, you guys had somewhat of a break or a fight and everything, and then you saw him with Steph London. So it's not as if you were in the picture, according to what she said, when he started dating Steph, right?
Mhm.
But instead of question later, now when you now saw him after this, you have never ever brought it up. You say you ran to him, both of you hugged, and everything was cool.
He
Huh?
said that she will have his twins.
Uh-huh. She's in Salome Jollof or whatever. Now my issue
Hey.
is,
When I
you
come.
have my issue is you have an issue with somebody. Can you spell it out? Stop living in La La Land. And now you're coming to come and do public this thing. Does even the Burna, what she was calling him D as per personal person. That means Burna Boy does he even know that you even have this issue? Because first of all, your relationship is not defined. So
Exactly.
I don't know what your like. My issue with all this is I don't know what she's looking for now. And I feel for her, if because now, anyway, maybe she wanted the popularity, as if it
Yeah,
has
I
said,
think that's
to
just
start
for me.
her
That's what it
career.
seems like.
I hope
Because
it's
That's
if
what.
for
you've been
the.
silently enjoying something, then why publicly
Exactly.
end it?
I
Uh-huh.
hope she gets some publicity and some coins from
Yeah.
this, but I honestly feel like
People
again,
have already moved on, safe.
integrity be 100%. Like I get that it wasn't defined with her and Burna, but like if you're spending as much time with her as she claims you are, you can't
Mm.
really hide behind, oh, it wasn't defined. Like there was something that
Mm,
that you kept going back there
Back
for.
to yeah.
And to me, I can't say it's just sex because you can get any girl
Any
anywhere in the
yeah.
world. So you're going
mm,
back there for something a bit more than just. So yes, it wasn't defined, but you cannot leave her out to dry and say, oh, so therefore it meant nothing. So for me, I
yeah.
feel like
And
if you
even
are
call her back even after starting to
and
date
give her
another person.
jollof tails and twin tails. So I'm like, men, please have integrity. If you're in between two women, maybe one looks better for your image and one is where your heart
Yeah.
really is. Pick one and keep it moving. This whole I
Mhm.
didn't define needs, we did not really have it. I'm
Don't mind them.
like that just someone that doesn't have integrity. Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
it's beyond just sex. 2 years off and on is beyond just sex.
Yeah.
Let's keep it 100 because again, you are a celebrity. You can get any well, not
Anywhere.
any girl, but like I mean, most girls for some change may be willing to do certain things with you.
Yeah.
So it can't just be that So she's more than sex. So you know,
No, she said she's more than sex now.
no, that what I'm
She's
saying is that when because like I feel like when we say oh you didn't define
according to her.
things, it makes it seem like oh the guy just used you for sex, and I'm like no, if it's a 2 year thing. There's probably something more. So we didn't have the definition, but for all intents and purposes, we were boyfriend and girlfriend,
Yeah, I
right?
guess.
So for me, I'm like, pick a side and stick to the lady or stay single. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Not forming oh we didn't define because because this we didn't define is it irks me because if you are doing everything but defining, then you can't call her stupid. Like she wasn't going off of stupid food, vibes. You were giving
Mm,
her something to almost like that lady that was cooking and sending for the guy
the
doing
boy.
lockdown.
Yeah.
You
Mm.
told her something to make her like, good morning, babe. I loved your last night's your love. I loved your snail and pepper sauce. So, so to me, like the girls were not going off of stupid, right? So Burna,
By the way, I just
do
want to
better.
say that I've just checked this thing out. She has deleted the,
The rants.
yeah, and then the next images are just photo shoots.
I guess
Yeah.
D came back. I really hope, because we have 2 minutes to go, but I really hope that this girl gets some coinage. Because that to me, that's the
Yeah.
only value add. Because I don't trust Burna to do right by you. So I hope you got some
You do right by yourself. She should please do right by
publicity.
herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So any final thoughts that we have, you know, here on our
I can't.
family member?
No, I don't. I
Our
will
family
just
member
say.
is known now. He's known.
I will just say that the
D.
girl should help herself, please, because I'm even more concerned about her because the person you're dealing with, I cannot
As
vouch for
in,
them.
Exactly,
exactly.
exactly.
Like, you're 23, please just help yourself. Don't be entangled in this kind of entanglement, oh. Eh? Hmm. No way.
As in, to me, at this point,
With
it may be to
Steffi,
cash
I
out.
beg. Sef London that has already met all our people in the village, Sef. She's
Yeah.
even singing in Yoruba these days.
But you know that for Nigerian
Hey.
men, that may not mean anything.
No, you don't
You may see
understand
the
what
whole
I'm saying.
family, but
What I'm
still on
saying is
still.
that Steph London in her this thing, that's her man. So if you like, come out. If you like, don't come out. Now you Sabi, we can't say she did not know if you were really there.
That's true.
Mm.
She's the one that's
So
being claimed publicly. So
exactly.
you
So
know,
mm,
baby girl
mm,
Joe, cash out. That's maybe that's the only thing.
That's it. Too.
Maybe
that's the best
because
thing
I
for.
can't vouch that this guy is going to do right by you. So either cash out or heal and move on. That's the only two options that are left to you, sweetheart. So until we see you, same time, same station,
Next week.
next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.